Fans are still reeling, because Coronation Street may have just delivered one of its most heartbreaking twists in years. Carla and Lisa Swain were finally supposed to get their happy ending. After everything. After all the pain, after all the waiting, they were engaged, they'd bought a home together. They were building something real, something safe, and then Becky Swain came back. A woman who was supposed to be dead, a woman who had vanished for years, hiding out in Spain under witness protection, only to return to Manchester with one thing on her mind: getting Lisa back, no matter who she destroyed in the process. And Becky didn't just come back quietly, she came back like a storm. It wasn't enough to haunt Lisa's past. She wanted to rewrite Lisa's future. She wanted to pull her away from Carla, tear her apart, break her down, and she was willing to go further than anyone imagined, because Becky held Carla hostage, locked in an airing cupboard inside a derelict flat. Cold air, dust, darkness, rope cutting into skin, breath turning stale, Carla trapped in silence while Becky played her sick little game of control. Lisa, meanwhile, believed she was simply going on holiday, and when Becky manipulated her enough, Lisa agreed to leave Weatherfield, to run away with Becky and their daughter Betsy. But then came the crossover episode that changed everything. Kit Green and Jacob Roberts found Carla tied up inside a shipping container. Bound, bruised, barely holding on, and the moment they freed her, it wasn't just rescue. It was war. They raced toward Hull to stop Lisa from disappearing forever, and that's when the road turned into chaos. A multi-vehicle pileup, twisted metal, screeching tires, shattered glass, a crash so violent it felt like the world itself was screaming. Lisa nearly died. For hours, she hovered between life and nothing. Machines beeping. Lights too bright. Carla standing helpless in a hospital corridor, hands shaking, heart splitting open at the thought that she could lose her, after fighting so hard to keep her. And Becky was ready to run. But just as she kissed Lisa goodbye, smiling like she'd won, Lisa snapped handcuffs onto her wrist. A single click, a single choice. Law over love. Survival over fear, and Becky was finally arrested. But even prison didn't stop her poison. Last week, behind bars, Becky swore she would bring Lisa down with her. That if she couldn't have her, nobody would. But then Betsy visited, and Betsy's words cut deeper than any sentence ever could. Because Betsy wasn't just angry about the kidnapping, the lies, the manipulation. She was angry about Mason. Mason died because Becky faked her death. He went looking for answers, desperate to uncover the truth, and it ended in violence, an altercation with his brothers, a fatal stabbing. A life erased because Becky couldn't face consequences. And Betsy, shaking with grief, looked her mother in the eyes and said the unthinkable. I wish it had been you. Not Mason. You. And for the first time, Becky had no comeback. No smile, no act. No performance, just silence, and the weight of everything she'd done. Later, Lisa returned to work and got the update after Becky's plea hearing: 12 years. Becky Swain had been sentenced to 12 years behind bars, and prison wasn't welcoming her with sympathy either. Inmates taunted her for being an ex-cop as she stared at a photo of Betsy taped to her wall, clinging to the last piece of her life that still mattered. But the episode didn't end with Becky. It ended with something quieter, something worse. Because ITVX didn't give viewers a loud goodbye, it gave them a soft one. Carla stood at the kitchen window, rain pressing against the glass like a mood she couldn't shake. Waiting, watching, counting minutes like they were years. Every sound outside felt like a threat. Every silence felt like unfinished fear. And then Lisa stepped through the door, wrapped in a quilt. Smelling of airport coffee, jet fuel, and the familiar comfort Carla had missed like oxygen. Lisa's smile was small, exhausted, but real, and the look between them said everything neither of them dared to say out loud. We're still here. We survived, for now, because even after the cuffs, the courtroom, the sentence. Weatherfield doesn't let love rest easily, and as Carla held Lisa close, fans everywhere realized the truth. This wasn't just the end of Becky Swain. This was the beginning of something else, a quiet fracture in the street. One life ending, another life starting, and in the middle of it all, two women still fighting to keep their fragile, aching hope alive. But the question remains, is this really their happy ending? Or is Carla and Lisa's most devastating goodbye still waiting around the corner?